sentence you to life in confinement without parole.
That's f***ing horse shit. You do whatever the f*** you want.
Why they shutting my mic off?
I'm the federal witness of the United States federal government. I demand some goddamn respect, you. All I did was trespass on property.
Ma'am, you gotta create the community that you want to live in.
Bond court is a free service, but it takes several hours of my time every day. Less than 10% of Bond court viewers hit the like button, and less than 1% leave a comment. If you want Bond court to continue to be available on YouTube for free, then please hit the like button and leave a comment on all of my videos.
I can hear you now. Your parents' PD in Osceola?
Yes, Your Honor. Belkis Izquierdo for Osceola.
All right, and then for Orange County?
Quinasia Irwin for the Public Defender's Office.
All right.
And Your Honor, for the record, Pat Hill on behalf of PTR.
Thank you. And then on Etienne, if you want to talk to her while I go through Osceola, maybe you guys work something out. I don't know. All right. All right. Good morning. I'm Orange County Judge Adam McGinnis. Osceola, the first case I have is this Dorian Arnold.
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Arnold is present and approaching.
All right.
And Your Honor, we do have one Spanish interpreter case. If Your Honor.
Yeah. I think we're going to do it at the end, and then we'll take it from there. All right, sir, your name?
Dorian Arnold.
All right, so you're here in one count of possession of a controlled substance without a prescription, methamphetamines, one count of possession or use of drug paraphernalia, reviewed the affidavit, found probable cause, point the public defender, I'll stay your bonds. Is he out on bond or ROR'd on 2022 CF 739, robbery with a weapon, petty theft?
Yes, Your Honor, and battery toucher strike.
Okay.
He was released ROR due to the 33-day rule.
Yeah. State, have you filed on that case?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, I'll take no action on that case, and I will stay the bonds on the new case. Thank you.
Have a seat.
Scotty Coburn?
Your Honor, Mr. Colborn is present and approaching. I do have some mental health information, if I may be heard.
Give me 1 second. I'll let you, and then I'll give you your opportunity. Your name, sir?
Scotty George Coburn.
All right. All right. You're here on one count of obstructing an officer without violence, reviewed the affidavit, found probable cause, point the public defender. Looks like you're out on bond in case number 2021 MM282, failure to appear on a criminal mischief. And there's a competency status here, and I believe in that. What do you want to tell me, counsel?
Your Honor, he was found incompetent to proceed in 18 CF 1242. Defense is requesting whether he qualifies for mental health DTR.
When was that competency determination?
I don't have the exact date, Your Honor. I just have the case number.
And it was in 2018.
Okay.
And he does not qualify for PTR due to the fact that he is out on bond.
Okay. So the 2018 eval is probably a bit stale at this point. Have you had an opportunity to review that eval?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. All right. I'm going to stay as bonds in this case, just due to the staleness of that eval. But if that eval, if you do get an opportunity to review that eval, and it says that he's permanently incompetent or something of that nature, then I can consider a 4-year-old eval. Otherwise, I'm not inclined. So if you do get in touch with, if you do find that eval and it does say something of that nature, you can bring it back to the court's attention, and then if that's the case, I would likely ROR him on it.
Your Honor, may I recall him at the end, because I do have my computer here and I may be able to access it.
Yeah, if you get it and you think it's relevant, then yeah, we can do that.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right.
No action as to out on bond.
No action. All right, Kevin Jones.
Mr. Jones is present and approaching.
All right, sir, your name?
Kevin LeBron Jones.
All right, sir, you were here in case number, is it, I thought there was a case number on this one.
It's 22 MM.
22 MM
503.
503. It looks like it's a warrant out of Osceola County on one count of battery, It looks like PTR is revoked. Bond is set at no bond. What was the reason that PTR was revoked on this case? Do we know?
Actually, Your Honor, it's a warrant for failure to appear.
Okay. All right, I'll appoint the public defender if the public defender hasn't already been appointed. David Kearse?
Your Honor, just to be clear on Mr. Jones, the warrant remains at 0, correct?
Correct.
Thank you.
Yeah, if it was a simple revocation of PTR, I could give him a new bond. But since it's a failure to appear, I think the judge that issued that no bond should be the one that hears a bond motion on that. Yep.
Yeah, just put it right there and put the pen back. Thank you.
All right, sir, your name?
David Curse.
All right, sir, you were here in case number, well, you're here on one count of battery, domestic, one count of possession of a controlled substance, ecstasy, and one count of possession or use of drug paraphernalia. I reviewed the affidavit, found probable cause, appoint the public defender. Looks like you're also out on bond. You out on bond on a?
No, Your Honor.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry, you're right. All right, ma'am, your name?
Iris Matei.
Okay. All right, ma'am, you were listed as the alleged victim in this case, and for everybody that's here for some sort of domestic violence case or a case where you're a victim, it could be a theft case, something of that nature, robbery. The purpose of the hearing today is really two parts. The first part is to review the affidavit, the arrest warrant, or arrest affidavit in this case, and make a determination if there is probable cause or a valid reason for the defendant's arrest. If I do make that determination, then the second thing we need to decide are conditions of release, okay? And so we need to determine whether or not the defendant should be released without having to post a bond or having to post a bond, and if so, how much, and what kind of conditions are appropriate, such as whether or not the defendant should be precluded from having contact with the victim, whether or not they should be allowed to return or maintain a separate residence, whether or not they should be prevented from possessing any guns, knives, or weapons, whether or not alcohol or drugs are an issue, all right? Everybody's case is different. Everybody's life is different, and so it's not a one-size-fits-all. That being said, as the alleged victim, you're entitled to provide input, to tell me whatever you think I need to know to make that determination, okay? So is there anything that you want to tell me, anything you think I should know?
He has a drug habit, and I think that's why he hit me yesterday, because he was under the influence. And I just want him to stay away from me.
Okay. Do you guys live together?
No, we do not.
Okay. So you do not want to have contact with him, correct?
I don't want no contact with him.
Okay. All right. State, do you have any questions for her?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Defense, do you have any questions for her?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. All right. Any input from the state?
Yes, Your Honor. State would request no contact to maintain separate residences and no drugs or alcohol.
Any input from the defense?
No, Your Honor. At this time, I'm requesting $300 bond on the battery charge.
All right. I'll go ahead. I'll set his bond at $100. No contact with the alleged victim. Maintain separate residence. Do not possess any guns, knives, or weapons. And he'll be subjected to random UAs for drugs or alcohol through PTR. I can do that. Yep. So I reduced his bond because he's going to have the added cost of the drug testing through PTR, okay?
Understood, Your Honor. And in the other two counts, Your Honor is staying the bonds?
100 and 100. I'm sorry, 150 and 100.
Okay. And Your Honor, is that bond and PTR?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
All right, ma'am. So I reduced his bond so that he has an ability to get out of jail, but I've required him to be subjected to random drug testing while he's out on release. If he fails one of those drug tests, then he'll get picked back up, okay?
I'm okay with that. I have a question.
Yes.
Does that include his family members contacting me in any way? Because he gave my address to someone.
So he has a lawyer, and the lawyer can explain to him what he can and cannot do. But for everybody that's in Osceola that may be a defendant to any kind of victim case, No contact means no contact. I can't have my friend call you. I can't have my family member call you. I can't contact you directly, and I cannot contact you indirectly. So, if he has anyone from his family contact you on his behalf, that's a potential violation. If they're just contacting you to contact you and not because he's telling them or asking them, then it may not be a violation. Okay? Does that answer your question?
Yeah, it does. They shouldn't contact me. I don't know anyone in his family. I just know that when he was in my house yesterday, he gave my address to a female.
Okay. Well, hold on. She's talking now, and then I'll give you an opportunity.
It's just, I don't know his family members. I just know that he had given my address to some female while he was in my house.
Okay.
So I just don't want nobody coming over there because I have children. I just don't want no problems. I just want this to be over with. I don't want nothing to do with him.
All right. Well, I like I said, he has a lawyer. His lawyer will inform him what no contact means. Okay. All right.
Okay.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Or hold on, don't leave yet. Defense, what did you want to say?
Your Honor, I did explain what no contact means to Mr. Curse, and he fully understands.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Thank
Here
you.
you go. Yes. Edwin Loreno.
Mr. Laureano is present and approaching.
All right. Your name, sir?
Loriano?
All right, sir. You were here on one kind of battery, domestic. Review the affidavit, found probable cause. Point the public defender. I see that we left a message. Do we have any contact with the alleged victim?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Any input from the state?
Yes, Your Honor. State would request no contact and to maintain separate residences.
All right. Any input from the defense?
One moment, Your Honor.
All right.
Your Honor, according to the police report, it does state that the alleged victim doesn't want to testify and doesn't live with Mr. Laureano. So at this time, defense would be requesting a $100 bond.
All right. I reviewed the affidavit. All the information I have, I'll set his bond at $250. No contact. Maintain separate residence. Do not possess any guns, knives, or weapons. Is Mr. Kirsch still there?
Yes, Your Honor.
Last gentleman. Let him know that I also ordered no guns, knives, or weapons.
You can't have guns, knives, or weapons. And Your Honor, the
All right.
bond amount on Mr. Laureano was what, I'm sorry?
$250.
$250. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Milena Montoya.
Your Honor, regarding Mr. Laureano, may he be allowed a one-time escort with law enforcement?
You can return one time with the assistance of law enforcement to retrieve your belongings. Are you here for Ms. Montoya?
Yes.
Your Honor, Ms. Montoya is present and approaching.
All right. All right, ma'am, your name? You were here on one count of battery, domestic violence. Review the affidavit, found probable cause, point the public defender. Your name, sir?
Luis Giles?
I'm sorry, your last name?
Giles Hernandez?
Is it Luis Carlos Guiaz Hernandez?
Yes.
Okay, all right, sir. Is there anything that you were paying attention when I explained everything to the lady before you?
Yes.
Okay. Is there anything that you want to tell me, anything you think I should consider?
No.
Okay. All right. Do you guys live together?
Yes, we do.
Do you want her to come home or maintain a separate residence?
I want her to go home.
All right. Are you in fear for your safety?
No.
Has anything like this ever happened before?
Not like this.
Okay. Are drugs or alcohol a problem?
No.
Okay. State, do you have any questions for him?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Defense, do you have any questions for him?
Your Honor.
Okay. All right. Any input with regards to release from the state?
Yes, Your Honor. State would request that there be no contact and that they maintain separate residences.
Any input from the defense?
Yes, Your Honor. We did hear from the alleged victim in this case. He stated he was not in fear. He wanted to return home. Therefore, defense is requesting that they have no hostile contact and that Ms. Montoya be allowed to return home. And regarding bond, $100.
Yeah. Does she qualify for PTR or no?
Not non-monetarily.
Okay. All right. I'll set her bond at $100. No hostile contact. No hostile contact means no physical abuse, mental abuse, verbal abuse, emotional abuse. Do not possess any guns, knives, or weapons. Do you understand, ma'am?
She said yes, Your Honor. I had her
All
mute.
right.
I apologize.
Do you have any questions, sir?
No. How long will it take for me to be able to bond her out?
Sure. So once we complete the paperwork, you can go down to Osceola County or you can hire a bail bondsman. I set it at $100. It's going to be the same price either way for you. So just head down there, and it's a process. I mean, I tell people that the jail it's not a 5-star resort, so you know we're not here to get you in and out. It's probably going to take a few hours.
All right.
All right.
Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you. Joshua Ocasio-Torres.
Mr. Torres is present and approaching.
All right. Your name, sir?
Joshua Ocasio-Torres.
All right, sir. You're here on 2 cases. The first one is 1 count of fleeing or attempting to elude a law enforcement officer with lights and sirens, 1 count of driving while license suspended or revoked, 1 count of no motor vehicle registration, and you have a second case of carrying a concealed firearm and resisting officer with violence. Review those affidavits, found probable cause, point the public defender, state any input with regards to release on count 1, the fleeing and eluding.
No, Your Honor.
All right, any input from the defense?
Your Honor, defense is requesting that bond be set at $300.
All right. Set as bond at $3,000 on the fleeing and eluding, $100 on the driving while license suspended, $100 on the no motor vehicle registration, $150 on the carrying a concealed firearm, and $150 on the resisting officer with violence. Do not drive without a valid license, sir, okay?
Okay.
Thank you, Your
All right,
Honor.
thank you. Cassandra Oliva.
Ms. Oliva is present and approaching.
Your name, ma'am? All right. Looks like you're here on 2 cases. One is a failure to appear on a non-resident requirement on a driver's license, 2022 CT 15220. According to that, your bond is set at $2,000. That is out of Orange County. Is that mine?
Both of them are Orange County.
Okay. The other case is failure to appear on an improper tag, 2022 CT 15230AO, 2000 Division 81. Okay. All right. E? Okay. All right. According to that, your bond is also set at $2,000. I'll appoint the public defender on each of these cases if they haven't already been appointed.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Austin Owens.
Present and approaching.
All right. Your name, sir?
Austin James Owens.
All right. You're out on bond in a trafficking in 14 grams or more of heroin, driving while license suspended, possession of drug paraphernalia, and speeding in 21 CF 1437AO. You're here today in 1 count of carrying a concealed weapon, a knife, 1 count of drug paraphernalia, 1 count of resisting officer. Reviewed that affidavit, found probable cause, point the public defender, and I'll stay count 1 at 500, I'll reduce count 2 to 100, count 3 to 100. State what's the status of the case that he's out on bond. Have you filed on it?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. I'll revoke his release in that case, let the judge assign to that case determine what a reasonable bond is
And
for
Your
him.
Honor, what is that case number?
It is 21 CF 1437AO.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good luck. Darren Plaza.
Mr. Plaza is present and approaching.
Your name, sir?
Your name.
All right. You're here in 1 count of fleeing and eluding a law enforcement officer with lights and sirens, and 1 count of operating a motor vehicle without a valid driver's license. Reviewed the affidavit and the citations. Excuse me. Found probable cause. Appoint the public defender. Any input from the state with regards to bond on count 1?
No, Your Honor.
Any input from the defense?
Yes, Your Honor. Defense is requesting that bond be set at $1,000.
All right. What is the other legal constraint that he's currently on?
Has a warrant out of Pennsylvania for a violation of probation on an assault charge.
And is there a hold for that?
There is not. They're not willing to extradite all the way from Florida.
Okay.
But it does disqualify him from PTR.
Okay, I just saw the legal constraint and, okay. All right, set his bond at $5,000 on count 1 and $100 on count 2. Do not drive without a valid license, okay, sir?
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Alejandro Rivera.
Mr. Rivera is present and approaching.
Your name, sir?
Alejandro Rivera.
All right, sir, you were here on one count of battery, domestic, reviewed the affidavit, found probable cause, point the public defender. Any contact with the alleged victim?
No, Your Honor.
All right, any input from the state?
Yes, Your Honor. State requests that there be no contact and they maintain separate residences.
Any input from the defense?
Yes, Your Honor. It's my understanding that Mr. Rivera advised that the alleged victim resided with him and that the property in which this occurred was at his home. Also in the police report in paragraph 1, it states in the last sentence that the alleged victim does not wish to prosecute. And 1 second, because Mr. Rivera has something to tell me.
Okay. Q, are you still prepping for our docket, or are you
Your Honor?
go? You're good to go? Okay. Yes.
Yes, I did speak to Mr. Rivera. He advised that he wishes to return home, that the alleged victim resides with him. Therefore,
Q.
defense, I'm sorry?
Go on. I'm listening.
Therefore, defense is requesting a $100 bond on this case.
Okay. All right. Give me one quick second. This is the one that she is trying to find the. This is the one with the 2018 competency thing. She was looking for the eval. Can you find it while we're doing this? Thanks. I've got the Orange County Public Defender looking for that eval on the MH individuals. Maybe save us some time.
Thank you.
All right, I'll set his bond at $100. No contact with the alleged victim. No return to the scene. Maintain separate residence. Do not possess any guns, knives, or weapons. You can return once with the assistance of law enforcement to retrieve your belongings. If they determine that she doesn't live there, that it's your place, then you can stay, okay?
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. Kent Robinson.
Mr. Robinson is present and approaching. And, Your Honor, I also do have information for the court whenever the court is ready.
For Mr. Robinson?
Yes.
Okay. All right, your name, sir?
Marcus Robinson.
All right, sir, you're here on one count of battery, domestic violence, reviewed the affidavit, found probable cause, point the public defender. Any contact with the alleged victim?
Yes, Your Honor. They are both in custody. She is requesting contact.
Is she in the room as well?
Your Honor. They're both in the room together.
Is that her or is that
No, Your
someone
Honor, that was
else?
the CO.
Okay. All right. All right. What do you want to tell me?
Sure, Your Honor. So I did speak to Mr. and Mrs. Robinson together and separately. They advise that they do reside together. They do want contact. They're not afraid of each other. And also they have dogs that have been locked up since Friday? Since Friday, that Mr. Robinson and Mrs. Robinson are concerned have not been fed, and there's no one else that lives in the house. In addition, there's no minor children that reside in the house. Therefore, defense is requesting that they maintain no hostile contact and that they're allowed to return home together.
Okay. State?
Your Honor, state would request no contact and to maintain separate residences.
All right. All right. Anything else for this individual from the defense?
No, Your Honor. As I stated,
All right.
I did speak to both of them. They do want contact and they want to return home together.
All right. All right. Mr. Robinson, have a seat for me. Can we bring up Tonya Robinson?
Ms. Robinson, present and approaching, Your Honor.
All right, ma'am, your name?
Tonya Robinson.
All right. You're here on one count of battery, domestic violence, reviewed the affidavit, found probable cause, point the public defender. You've heard what the public defender said with regards to contact. Is that an accurate statement?
That's an accurate statement. I love my husband, and I just want us to return back to normal.
Okay, all right. Anything else from the defense with regards to Ms. Robinson? Okay, anything from the state?
No, Your Honor, just to reiterate that we request no contact and to maintain separate residences.
Okay. All right. With regards to Mr. Marcus Robinson, I will say.
Would you like him to be brought up and I have Ms. Robinson sit?
Nope. I'm just going to tell you what his conditions of release are. I'm sure you can hear me, right?
Please listen, okay? Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. His bond is set at $500, no hostile contact with the alleged victim, and do not possess any guns, knives, or weapons. With regards to Miss Robinson, her bond is set at $250. No hostile contact with the alleged victim. Do not possess any guns, knives, or weapons. You understand, ma'am? You understand, sir?
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you. All right, you can have a seat, ma'am. Jenna Tanner.
Thank you, Your Honor. Ms. Tanner, she's present and approaching, Your Honor.
Your name, ma'am?
Jenna Tanner.
All right, you're here on one count of grand theft greater than 300, less than 5,000. Reviewed that affidavit, found probable cause, point to public defender, and I'll stay your bond on this case.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Michael Thomas.
Have a seat, ma'am. Mr. Thomas is present and approaching.
Your name, sir?
Michael L. Thomas.
All right, sir, you're here on one count of aggravated battery with a deadly weapon. Review the affidavit, found probable cause, point to public defender. Any contact with the alleged victim?
Your Honor.
All right, any input from the state?
Yes, Your Honor. State would request no contact and that there be no weapons or firearms.
All right, any input from the defense?
One moment, Your Honor.
All right.
Your Honor, Mr. Thomas advised that the alleged victim actually returned back to South Carolina, so at this time, I'm requesting that Mr. Thomas be allowed to return home.
All right, I'll set his bond at $7,500. No contact with the alleged victim. No return to the scene. Maintain separate residence. Do not possess any guns, knives, or weapons. You can return once with the assistance of law enforcement, and as long as they determine that the alleged victim is no longer residing there, then you can stay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Roberto Velez.
Mr. Velez is present and approaching.
Your name, sir?
Sir.
All right, you're here on one count of possession of cocaine, one count of possession of paraphernalia. Review the affidavit, found probable cause, point the public defender, and I'll stay your bond on count one at 1,000 and count two at 100. Does he qualify for PTR?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Ask him if he wants the bond or if he wants the PTR with random UAs.
Your Honor, he requested PTR alone.
All right, we'll give him PTR.
Straight pretrial release with RUAs.
Yeah.
Do you want me to check you're not consuming?
Yeah, do not consume or possess any drugs or alcohol. Maria Vazensky.
Have a seat, sir. Ms. Vazensky is present and approaching.
All right.
Thank you, ma'am.
Your name, ma'am?
Maria Vazensky.
All right, you're here on one kind of disorderly intox, and I reviewed that affidavit, found probable cause, point the public defender, and have you ever been in trouble before?
No.
I'll go ahead and ROR.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Yep. Nalissa DeRosa.
Mr. Rosa's present and approaching.
Your name, ma'am?
Melissa DeRosa.
All right, you were here, looks like 3 out-of-county warrants, CF 21-003-867. Looks like there's maybe 3 counts of that warrant. This is out of Polk County, and it's a violation of probation, battery on an officer, firefighter, EMT, 2 counts, and your bond on those is set at no bond, and then there's a resisting, obstructing an officer without violence. That's also on no bond. Polk County has 24 hours to come pick you up starting tomorrow. Do you have any questions, ma'am?
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Louis Anthony Robles.
Your Honor, this was a reset from yesterday. He refused. I'll waive his appearance and we can go forward.
All right. One count of resisting officer without violence. Reviewed the affidavit, found probable cause, point the public defender, and I'll stay as bond. And then I may have asked this the other day. He's on probation. Is there a hold for that yet or no?
Actually, he's being charged with the violation of that probation.
Okay. All right. Okay.
So you should have 3 cases in front of you.
I do not. How many cases do I have? No.
Wait, what's for this?
Is that for the gentleman that just refused? Or for Robles? I'm sorry. Yeah, who did I just do? Robles? Are you saying that he has 3 cases?
Yes, Your Honor, he has the driving without, no motorcycle license, the resisting without, and then the violation of probation.
I don't have any of that. The only thing I have is a resisting arrest without violence. Is there a hold on him for that VOP, and then we can do it tomorrow?
Well, yes, he's not going anywhere because he's being charged with the violation of probation with a 0 bond.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Then those got to hit the docket tomorrow because I don't have them.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Did you find what we're looking for?
Yeah, I emailed the evals to.
Your Honor, may I have a moment to look? I have my computer here.
Yeah.
Thank you. And also, we have one individual that required the Spanish interpreter.
Right. I figured we'd do this and then get to the Spanish.
Okay, 1 second.
Are we going to bring our Spanish out first for Orange? Yeah, so we'll just run right through with the Spanish.
It's gonna be disconnected. You might have to call her back, but just so you know.
I'll call her back.
Okay. Here's Orange.
Oh, thank you. Who's your friend?
She's in Shoemaker's courtroom. She's watching. She's doing IAs in July.
You're in Shoemaker's courtroom?
I came from Gibson. I'm in Shoemaker.
I don't know you. How long have you been in Shoemaker's courtroom?
A few weeks. I started with Gibson first.
Okay. What do you think? Do you like her? Should I trust her?
Yeah.
Do you think I should? Okay. What happened to the other state attorney that was in there?
And which one? Gibson?
Shoemaker.
Which other state attorney?
How many state attorneys are in Judge Shoemaker's courtroom?
3.
Miss Rivers is still there?
Yeah, she is.
Oh, okay. I thought maybe you replaced her or something. No? So there's 3 of you.
No, I'm a public defender.
Oh, you're the public defender.
Judge, why would the state be sitting here?
I don't know.
I mean, I can move over there.
No, that's fine.
Get close. I don't know.
See, I'm looking at is public defenders. I got 1 here. I got 2 here. I'm figuring 1 person is the state attorney. So how many PDs are there?
3.
Oh my God. There's 3. How many cases do you have?
I have about 140.
You have
I think we have like 140, 150 each.
Each? How many cases do you have?
148.
You have 148?
Yeah.
Oh, we'll work on that. Okay.
I have 309.
For another month.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Hi.
I received 2 emails from Public Defender Miss Irwin. Is Miss
Yes.
Irwin present?
Yes.
Okay, good morning, Miss Irwin.
Hello.
Hi, I received your emails, thank you. Your Honor, I did review them. I'm not sure if Miss Irwin would like to speak for Mr. Coburn, since it appears she was the public defender.
No, I just asked her to look them up and send them so that we could save some time while you were working.
Okay, I received.
Multitasking.
Yeah.
Okay. I just want to know what the last paragraph says.
Okay.
Restorable or not restorable?
It appears that if he's treated in a psychiatric hospital, he may be restorable.
Okay. All All right, then I'll stay as bond on it, because that to me, that makes that eval a little bit stale, because we don't know what's happened in the last 4 years. All right, I'll stay as bond on that. That's Coburn, Scotty Coburn.
Yes, so Your Honor, what action are you taking on the case he's out on bond?
No action.
No action, thank you.
Yeah. All right, thank you.
Good morning, this is Dalia Romero, Spanish interpreter on the line.
All right.
Already sworn in today, Your Honor.
All right, we have one Spanish in Osceola with no headphones.
Your Honor, Mr. Rolón is in a wheelchair, and I have him next to me. That's why he's not on my left, okay? I'm just gonna try my best to accommodate him.
All right, yeah, I can see everybody. All right, Madam Turner, if you could repeat everything that's said from this point forward.
Yes, Your Honor. Dalia
right.
Romero, state certified Spanish interpreter, not sworn in yet.
Oh, I thought you were. Oh, we didn't need you this morning, did we?
That's right. No.
All right,
Yeah.
can you raise your right hand for me? Do you swear to interpret from Spanish to English and English to Spanish to the best of your ability, so help you God?
Yes, I do. Dalia Romero, state certified Spanish interpreter.
All right, your name, sir?
Señor, su nombre, por favor.
It's a miracle.
Ilani Rivera Rolón.
You are here on one count of possession of a firearm by a convicted felon.
Usted está aquí en una causa de tenencia de un arma de fuego por un felón condenado.
One count of carrying a concealed firearm.
Una causa por haber llevado un arma oculta.
One count of possession of marijuana less than 20 grams.
Y una causa de tenencia de marihuana menos de 20 gramos.
I've reviewed that affidavit, found probable cause, and appoint the public defender.
Yo he repasado la affidavit acusatoria, hallo que hay causas que respaldan la acusación y se le designa el defensor público.
You have a second case of one count of failure to obey a police and fire official.
También tiene una segunda causa de no haber obedecido la orden de un oficial de la ley o un bombero.
And one count of operating a motorcycle without a driver's license.
Y una causa de haber manejado una motocicleta sin licencia.
I reviewed these affidavits and find probable cause and appoint the public defender.
Yo he repasado estas affidavit y hallo que hay causas que respaldan la acusación y se le designa el defensor público.
On the firearm case, I will set your bond at $4,000 on count one.
En la causa del arma de fuego, la fianza es de $4,000 en la primera causa.
$150 on count two and $100 on count three.
150 en la segunda causa y $100 en la tercera causa.
In your failure to obey a police charge, I'll set your bond at $500.
Y en la causa de no haber obedecido la orden del policía, la fianza es de $500.
And count two at $100.
Y $100 en la segunda causa.
It looks like he's on probation for armed carjacking.
Pareciera que está en probatoria por secuestro de un vehículo a mano armada.
Is there a hold for that?
Él tiene una orden de detención en ese caso.
Your Honor, not at this time. However, I did speak with the probation officer this morning, and he is in the process of putting the paperwork together. He asked me to request a finding of an on-view finding of his violation of his probation, and to give him time to get the paperwork submitted.
Okay.
Hablé con
What
el
is
oficial
it?
de probatoria esta mañana y me ha dicho que me ha pedido que le pida al juez tiempo para hacer a plena vista un caso de incumplimiento de probatoria.
What is the case number for that federal case?
I do not
¿Cuál es
have
el
the
número de
case-
caso de ese caso federal?
I do not have the case number as it's a charge out of Puerto Rico, but he is being supervised through federal probation out of Orlando.
No tengo el número de caso, ya que es un caso de Puerto Rico, pero él está siendo supervisado en Orlando por la Probatoria Federal. Es un caso de Puerto Rico.
If I don't have a case number, I cannot look up the case to verify the information.
Si no tengo un número de caso, no puedo buscar la información para verificar el caso, no puedo mirar el caso para verificar la información.
So you should contact the probation officer and tell him to hurry up.
Así que debe de comunicarse con el oficial de probatoria y decirle que se apure.
That's understandable, Your Honor. I did explain that to him. I was just relaying his request.
No problem.
Yo le expliqué eso a él. Yo estaba explicándole a usted lo que él había pedido.
All right, thank you.
Bien, gracias.
Is that everything for Osceola?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. See you later.
Have a great day, Your Honor.
You too. Ms. Ramirez, we're going to start with our Spanish and Orange, but they're telling me that you might get disconnected. So if we do, I'll call you right
You have
back.
to call us back. Thank you. No
Okay.
problem.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bond court is a free service, but it takes several hours of my time every day. Less than 10% of Bond court viewers hit the like button, and less than 1% leave a comment. If you want Bond court to continue to be available on YouTube for free, then please hit the like button and leave a comment on all of my videos.
Corrections. Oh. I'm just calling in an interpreter. Do we only have one Spanish? Yes.
Good morning, Your Honor. This is Laura Royo, State Certified Interpreter and previously sworn.
Please do a sound check for Mr. Rojas.
Yes, Your Honor. 1 second, please.
Thank you. Do you have that blank plea form? Oh, you gave it to me.
Sí.
Connection is established, Your Honor.
Seminole County Case 152992, CFA. Is your name Jose Rojas?
Correcto.
Yes.
You're here for a warrant out of Seminole County, Florida for theft. You have a bond of $2,000. I'll appoint a public defender for your time where you're in the Orange County Jail. Thank you, Mr. Rojas. If you don't post that bond, you'll be transported to Seminole County, Florida. Okay. Thank you, Madam Interpreter. That concludes everything for Spanish for the.
You're welcome, Your Honor.
Jesus Manuel Torres. Mr. Torres, good morning. Do you need a public defender to help you with your case? You'll need to answer out loud.
No, ma'am.
The PD's office will stay on your case. You were arrested because you missed your court date for charges of battery to a law enforcement officer and battery domestic violence. You're to have no contact with the victim, no weapons, all previous conditions, but you'll remain at no bond. Thank you, Mr. Torres. After that, I have Kobe Giddens. (2022) CF 4811. Are you Mr. Giddens?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Giddens, do you need a public defender to help you with your criminal charges?
Yes, ma'am.
I'll appoint a public defender. Are you Anastasia Neal?
Yes.
Please raise your right hand. I'll have you sworn in.
Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you're about to give should be the truth, the whole truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Please state your name for the record.
Anastasia Neal.
I do find that there's probable cause for the charge of aggravated battery domestic violence. You are entitled to some terms of release. Let me talk to Anastasia. Anastasia, is Mr. Giddens your boyfriend?
Yes.
Do you have any children in common?
Yes, I'm pregnant.
Okay, and do you live together?
Yes.
Are you in fear of him?
No.
Do you want him to return home?
Yes.
And were drugs or alcohol a factor in any of this?
No.
State, any questions?
No, Your Honor.
And defense, any questions?
No, Your Honor. Your Honor, just for the court's knowledge, the two prior DV battery arrests were both different victims.
Were what?
Different victims.
All right, thank you. All right, Mr. Giddens, I heard your girlfriend's testimony. I heard what your requests were, that you're not in fear of him, but I do have concerns, Ms. Neal, about the safety of your unborn child, as well as the outstanding warrant that he has in Seminole County. So I'm ordering no contact with you. If you live together and you're released on bond, you must maintain separate residence and live elsewhere. I'll allow a one-time return as long as you're accompanied by a police officer. You're not to have any weapons. Weapons to be surrendered within 4 hours of your release from any jail. I'm going to set your bond based on these facts at $2,000. Thank you, ma'am, for your testimony. After that, I'm addressing Tosh Gooden. Are you Tosh Gooden? Do you need a public defender to help you with your charges? Do you support anybody? No. And what is your take-home pay? Not the gross number, like after taxes and withholdings. How much are you paid?
1,200.
I'm sorry, and you don't support any children or any other family members or friends? You make too much money to qualify for the services of the public defender, but I'll have him stand in as a friend of the court in case we need to be heard on bond. Does she have any history?
No, Your Honor.
No, Your Honor.
All right, you're to have no contact with Jason Stewart. You're to maintain a separate residence. You're to maintain a separate residence. I'll allow a one-time return as long as you're accompanied by a police officer, and you're not to own any weapons. Weapons need to be surrendered within 4 hours of your release. And I'm going to set her bond at $1,500. Can you afford a bond of $1,500?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. That'll conclude your case. Next case up is Thomas Jordan. Are you Mr. Jordan?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Jordan, do you need a public defender to help you with your new charges for aggravated battery and battery?
Yes, ma'am.
I'll appoint the services of the public defender. I do find that there's probable cause. Based on the facts of this case, you are entitled to bond, but here are the conditions that I'll go over with you. You're to have no contact with Dawn Allen. You must maintain a separate residence. She can stay. You're only permitted to go back one time, and you must be accompanied by a police officer. Additionally, you're not allowed to have any weapons. All weapons need to be surrendered within 4 hours of your release from jail. State, I don't see anything's been filed on the out on bond, but he just bonded out about a month and a half ago on the drug charges. What says the state?
Yes, Your Honor. The arrest was early March. We have not yet filed on it. However, given the allegations within the affidavit, and that there were arguably two, and the violent behavior he's exhibiting in this case, they would ask that you revoke.
What says defense?
Your Honor, I would ask that given that the state has not filed, it has been over a month, and the state has not filed on those charges, I ask that you take no action, and if you are inclined to revoke for the new law, that you revoke and set a new bond, given that the state has not filed formal charges.
Okay, I'll go to monetary bonds. On the aggravated battery domestic, I'm setting bond at $2,000. On the battery domestic, $100, conditions previously imposed. On the drug charges at this time, I'm revoking his release. I'm setting count 1 bond at $5,000, count 2 bond at $200, count 3 bond at $200. So in that case, his new bond total is $5,400. Thank you. I'm also going to order possess no drugs or paraphernalia out on bond, and I wrote it on there. The next person is Jakira Self, 2022 CF 4792.
Your Honor, in this case, I believe both were arrested. Can we see both together? Your Honor?
Yes. Kendrick Bacon is the co-defendant. So I have to wait for Mr. Bacon. Let's pass on Ms. Self and hold her until Bacon is brought up.
I believe she's bringing him up now.
Excuse me?
I believe they're grabbing him right now.
Oh, okay, thank you. She's Self and how far down is Bacon?
Under Kendrick.
Oh, it's Kendrick is the last name.
Your Honor?
Yes.
May we approach?
Yes, give me one moment to find the paper. Can I slide this over? Yes, approach. State Defense, you can approach. Yes, counsel. I know. Sure. Okay. Right. We'll wait on him. I'll call him up later. Thank you. Okay, so we're going to do this a little bit differently. In case number 2022 CF 4792, are you Ms. Self?
Yeah.
I'll appoint a public defender to help you with these charges if you'd like. Do you want a public defender? You'll need to answer out loud.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So I'm going to find probable cause for the charge of aggravated assault. At this time, I'm going to give you a monetary bond of $1,000. You're to have no contact with with Bacon. You must maintain a separate residence. Whose lease is it? Okay, so I'm gonna allow you to stay there. He cannot go back. I'm going to give him a one-time exception. But while this case is going on, you're not to possess any weapons. If you do, they need to be surrendered to law enforcement within 4 hours of your release. I'm ordering no contact with no defendant with Kendrick Bacon, and comply with the Department of Children and Families if they're investigating.
We have kids, so I just have to reply with them. Okay.
Yeah, you have to go through DCF. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Kendrick Bacon is next. No, we can pass on him for a little bit. Shuri. Okay, thank you. Karamos Burton. Good morning, sir. Let's get some paperwork ready. Mr. Burton, you're here for a misdemeanor offense, case number 2022 MM2826. Do you need a public defender? Do you plan to represent yourself or hire your own attorney?
Yes, I need a public defender.
I'll appoint the services of the public defender. I do find probable cause. I'm going to put him on straight monetary bond. You're to have no contact with victim Shanice Carr. You must maintain a separate residence. She can say you can only go back one time when you're accompanied by a police officer to collect belongings. You're not to have any weapons. Weapons need to be surrendered to law enforcement within 4 hours of your release. Based on your history and the facts of this case, your bond is $1,500. Thank you, Mr. Burton.
Your Honor, he's currently on Social Security income. I would ask for pretrial release given that he does qualify.
I see that, but I'm going to deny that request based on his history, which is,
And you said 1,500, Your Honor?
yes. The next person is Devon Culbreth, case number 2022 MM231AW.
Behavior, Your Honor.
All right, I'll appoint the services of the public defender in this case. Is Victoria Culbreth present? For the record, no response. At this time, I'm going to find probable cause. I'm setting bond at $1,000. I'm ordering defendant is to maintain a separate residence, no contact with the victim, and one-time return with law enforcement, and not to possess any weapons, weapons to be surrendered within 4 hours of release. After that, I have DeJuan Davis. Mr. Davis, do you need a public defender to help you with your charges?
Yes, ma'am.
You were arrested for a charge of battery, domestic violence, and I do find probable cause. You are entitled to bond. Is Miss Floyd present? No response. Sir, based on your history, I'm setting your bond at $1,500. You're to have no contact with the victim. You must maintain a separate residence. I'll allow for a one-time return as long as you're accompanied by a police officer, and you're not to own any weapons. Weapons to be surrendered within 4 hours of your release. Thank you, Mr. Davis. Brianna George is next. Good morning, Ms. George. Do you need a public defender to help you with your case? No. Okay. Is Decarius Scott present? For the record, no response. You and the victim do not live together, is that correct? Right. All right. State any objection to pretrial release?
No, Your Honor.
Ms. George, I'm going to put you on pretrial release. Here are your conditions. You're to have no contact with victim Scott. You're not allowed to have any weapons. If you do own any weapons, they have to be surrendered to the police department within 4 hours of your release. I see that there is a witness. I'm also ordering no contact with the witness, last name McCrimmon. Do you have any questions? All right, that concludes your case. Thank you, Ms. George. It'll be processed out. After that, I have Kayla Moore. PTR. I'm sorry. Okay. Are you Bacon, Kendrick Bacon or Bacon Kendrick?
Kendrick Bacon.
Okay. So your last name. Sir, you were arrested for a charge of battery, domestic violence, and I do find that there's probable cause. I'm going to temporarily appoint the public defender's office. I'll likely need to conflict out. On the charge of battery, I'll give you a bond. Based on the facts of this case, I'm setting your bond at $1,500. You're to have no contact with the victim, and you must maintain a separate residence. She can stay at the Orange Blossom Trail address. You're only permitted to go back one time with a police officer to collect your belongings. You're not allowed to have any weapons. If you do own any weapons, they do need to be surrendered to law enforcement within 4 hours of your release from jail, but based on your history, I'm not sure if you're allowed to have them anyway. Give me a moment to find something. Is his probation case number 2016 CF? Geez, too many cases. Corrections, do you have a case number where he is on probation?
Yes, Your Honor, I believe it's 2016 CF 12206.
Is he also on in 2016 CF 1172?
Yes.
Sir, in case number 2016 CF 12206 and 11172, I'm seeing that you're on probation. Because of this new law violation, I'm going to hold you at no bond and treat it as an on view. You'll have counsel through the public defender's office temporarily. Thank you. Kayla Moore is next.
So I have to get a paid lawyer.
Yes.
Are there any other conditions?
Oh, sorry.
Okay. But that was it, no maintaining.
Yeah, because they live separately.
Okay.
Anyway.
Thank you.
Okay, Kayla Moore, sorry for the wait. You're here for a crime of battery domestic violence. Do you need a public defender to help you with your charges?
No.
You'll need to answer loud enough so I can hear you. Okay. And sir, what's your name?
Isaac Moore.
Mr. Moore, do you solemnly swear that the testimony you'll give today is the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God? You'll need to answer loud enough so I can hear you.
Yes.
And how do you know Kayla Moore?
She's my wife.
Are you in fear of her?
No.
Do you feel safe? Do you want her to live with you?
Yes.
And is anybody else living in the house?
My child.
Okay, do you have any concerns about your safety or your child's safety at the hands of Ms. Moore?
No.
Or drugs or alcohol a factor in this?
No.
All right. Ma'am, I'm going to put you on pretrial release with the following conditions. You're to have no hostile contact with your husband or any family members, and you're not allowed to have any weapons. If you do have any weapons, they need to be surrendered to the police department within 4 hours of your release. She didn't want a PD. All right, thank you, Mr. Moore. Thank you,
Your
Ms.
Honor, I believe DTF was also contacted.
And I'm also going to order that if the Department of Children and Families is doing an investigation, you are court-ordered to cooperate with them, okay? Counsel, we'll work your case in as soon as he's brought up.
Understood, Judge.
Justin, what? Justin, Newgate? Sorry, I mispronounced that. Do you need a public defender to help you with your criminal charges?
Yes, please.
All right, I'll appoint the services of the public defender. I find probable cause for these offenses. 55. All right. I know he qualifies for pretrial release. I'm going to do it a little bit with a plus monetary bond. On each count, I'm setting your bond at $100 plus pretrial release. Here are the conditions of pretrial release. You're to have no contact with Cynthia or Michael. You need to maintain a separate residence. You can go back there one time to collect your belongings. After that, you can't go back. You're not allowed to have any weapons. If you do own any weapons, they must be surrendered to law enforcement within 4 hours of your release. And you're not to possess any illegal drugs, any drug paraphernalia, or consume any alcohol. Through pretrial release services, you're going to be subject to random testing at your expense. Any testing can begin anytime after May 30th, so if you have something in your system, you have time to clear effective today. Thank you.
Your Honor, is Michael a witness in the?
Michael is a victim.
A victim?
Okana is next. Case number 2022 MM 2829. Is Haley Dujon present, or Shay? No response. Your name, please? You're here for a crime of battery domestic violence. Would you like a lawyer to help you with your charges? All right, you're here for, I find probable cause for these offenses. I'm going to set your bond at $500. You're to have no contact with any victims or witnesses. In this case, you must maintain a separate residence. They can stay where they're living. You cannot go back. I'll make a one-time exception. How old is Haley?
They're 20, but I pay all the bills.
Okay. I understand that, but they're allowed to stay there. You cannot. They're not here to tell me something otherwise. You go back to the house just one time. You need to be accompanied by a police officer to collect your belongings. Don't go back without an officer. No contact with them. And you're not allowed to have any weapons. Weapons need to be surrendered within 4 hours of your release from jail. Do you have any questions?
I don't have any weapons.
All right. Good luck to you, ma'am. After that is Powell. Did I screw something up?
No, those are the only.
Ms. Powell, you were arrested for a charge of battery domestic violence, and I do find that there's probable cause. Is Javante Davis present? No response. Based on your history, your bond is going to be $750. You're to have no contact with Javante Davis. It looks, do you live separately?
Yes.
Okay, so no contact with him. That means you can't go to where he lives. You're also not allowed to have any weapons. If you do own any weapons, they need to be surrendered to the police department within 4 hours of your release. It's my understanding that there's a witness. You're to have no contact with the witness either. Good luck to you, ma'am. After that is Matthew Richetti. Sherry Sherigar.
No, we pulled it to the end because the attorney told it to join us.
Okay.
Do you have any?
Yeah, is that the one with Judge, not Judge Mills?
No, I mean, like, is there anybody that can do it? Oh, no.
Okay, and then Katrina Saba, we're still waiting on.
Yeah, that one's.
All right, let's go ahead and call Richetti. Matthew Richetti. Thank you, officer. Matthew Richetti is next. Mr. Richetti, you're here for a crime of battery domestic violence. I will give you release conditions. Do you need a public defender to help you with your case?
Possibly.
Is that a yes or a no? Because I'm going to start your hearing now. Do you want a public defender who's standing behind you in the courtroom? Or do you want to proceed without an attorney? Or if you want to hire your own attorney, I can reset your case till tomorrow. How old are you?
27.
Have you ever been in trouble with the law before? Do you have any legal training?
Not exactly. No.
Do you understand what the maximum penalties are involving a misdemeanor of the first degree?
No.
Do you think it would be in your best interest to have an attorney present with you this morning?
I guess so.
Okay, is that a yes or a no?
Yes.
All right, thank you. I'll appoint a public defender. Are you David Richetti, or
Yes.
please raise your right hand. I'll have you sworn in.
Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you're about to give should be the truth, the whole truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Thank
And
you.
how are you related to Matthew?
He's my brother.
Do you live together?
Yes.
Do you feel safe living with him?
No.
All right, do you want contact with him?
No. Your Honor, may I add something?
Let me ask you a couple of questions. Is drug or alcohol a factor in any of this
No.
behavior?
No.
Yes, what would you like to ask me?
Yesterday was all day was spent trying to get Matthew to voluntarily get help for his mental condition. He refused. Me and my family are currently trying to get him evaluated at Lakeside and long-term help at Dunkland. He's severely depressed, and it is just messing everybody up.
Okay.
Your Honor, that's present within the affidavit. I don't know if you'd be willing to do mental health PTR and then in the alternative, monetary.
Here's what I'm doing. I'm going to give you an option for mental health PTR. Your attorney will explain that to you. And that kind of gives me information about why he was unable to articulate whether or not he needed an attorney. In the alternative, I'll set monetary bond at $500. Mr. Richetti, here are the terms of your release. You're to have no contact with your family while this case is pending, and you're not to possess any weapons. If you do own any weapons, they do need to be surrendered to the police department within 4 hours of your release. I'll let you return to your home one time, but you must be accompanied by a police officer. That's for the sole purpose of you collecting some personal effects. If you take prescribed medications for your mental health, I'm ordering that you take prescribed medications, but you not take any illegal drugs. Do you have any questions, Mr. Richetti?
No, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Richetti, that's, he is entitled to some release conditions, so I've just ordered them. Do you have any questions?
No, ma'am.
All right, thank you. After that is Linda Rodriguez. Witnesses, because they were all there. So that's no contact with the witnesses, so those are your other family members. Linda Rodriguez, give me a moment. Is David Rodriguez present? Ms. Rodriguez, you're here for a crime of battery domestic violence. Do you need a public defender to help you with your case?
Yes.
I'll appoint a public defender for these purposes. State, do you have any objection to PTR?
No, Your Honor.
I'll put you on pretrial release for these charges. You're to have no contact with David. You must maintain a separate residence, which is what I'm showing. And you're not allowed to have any weapons. If you do own any weapons, they need to be surrendered to the police department within 4 hours of your release. There are a number of witnesses in this case who seem to be written down as family members. You're to have no contact with those witnesses either. Thank you, Ms. Rodriguez.
Thank you.
Deshaun Rutherford is next. I'm going to do a one-time return with law enforcement. Are you Mr. Rutherford? Mr. Rutherford, do you need a public defender to help you with your criminal charges?
Yes.
I'll appoint the services of the public defender to help you with your case. Sir, what's your name?
Pete Percy Hardy.
Mr. Hardy, please raise your right hand. I'll have you sworn in.
Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you're about to give should be the truth, the whole truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, what is your relationship to Mr. Rutherford?
His ex-step-grandfather.
You're his what?
I was married to his grandmother.
Okay. And then who is Marquetta?
His aunt. Her name is Quita.
Okay, I'm sorry I mispronounced that. Do you and Mr. Rutherford live together?
Sorta and sorta not. Bless you.
Thank you. Are you in fear of him?
No, ma'am. No. See, I called yesterday, right? I was crying, begging him not to book that boy. The boy's in here. He shouldn't even be in here. What happened was, it happened because of something that I'm bringing to the house. And his grandmother told him to do what he was doing.
Okay, let me slow you down. Do you want to have contact with him?
Yeah, I ain't scared of that boy.
Okay.
He shouldn't even be in here, man. I dialed 911, then I hung up. But then his auntie start talking that foolishness.
Where does Jashawn, okay, I got this. State, any questions?
No, Your Honor.
Defense, do you have any questions for Mr. Hardy?
No, Your Honor.
All right, here are the terms of your release. I'm going to put you on straight pretrial release. You're to have no hostile contact with Mr. Hardy. You can't do anything to harm, threaten, scare, or intimidate him. Additionally, you're not allowed to own any weapons. Weapons need to be surrendered to the police department within 4 hours of your release. Do you have any questions, sir?
No.
Mr. Hardy, do you have any questions?
No, ma'am. I just
All right.
want him to come home, ma'am.
Good luck to you.
Yes, ma'am.
Good luck to you, sir.
All
He's
right.
being released today.
Yes, ma'am.
Saba's next.
I don't have it on me.
Oh, what?
Your Honor, I'm sorry. How many hours did you give him?
4.
4 hours, so upon your release, you got 4 hours.
Catherine Saba's mental health. Okay, I'm going to call, sir, if you can, hold on. Ms. Abraham, I just want them to clear everything. 2022 MM 2827. She's not being brought over today because of mental health conditions. Are you waiving her appearance?
Yes, Your Honor.
And your appearance for the record?
Tonya Abraham on behalf of Ms. Saba.
Okay, I find probable cause for the charge of battery domestic violence. Sir, please raise your right hand. I'll have you sworn in.
Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you're about to give should be the truth, the whole truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, and what is your name, sir?
Michael Weinstein.
Mr. Weinstein, how are you related to Ms. Saba?
We were married.
You're married? And were you living together at the time of this offense?
Yes, ma'am.
Your witness state.
Good morning, sir. Has anything like this ever happened before?
Not to this extreme, no.
Has anything violent ever occurred between you two before?
No, ma'am.
Are you afraid of Miss Saba?
I am not afraid. I care for her deeply, and all I want is for her to get mental health.
And are you willing to call 911 if anything like this ever happened again?
Absolutely.
And do you believe drugs or alcohol were involved in this incident?
I believe, but alcohol was, but not to an extent of that would lead it to the extreme it was in. Not in excess, is what I'm saying.
And you stated you do want to have contact with her?
I would like to not have contact with her until she's assessed and gone through and followed through with a treatment plan from a professional. I would very much like her to be released from prison and put into a professional environment that can treat her rather than being in a prison environment.
Can I interrupt? Where would her husband,
We can send her to
where's she gonna go?
to like an Advent Health mental health facility or
Okay, so have you
any
looked into those
facility.
before? Hold on, let me slow you down. Have you looked into those before?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, do they have a bed available? I think that's the big question.
Yes, ma'am. We can find one that will have a bed.
Do you know if they have a bed available? If I release her today, where is she going to go is my question. I can't release her to Advent Health if they don't have a bed available and they don't have a liaison here to tell me that or something in writing.
So I have not been doing that. Her mother has, and she has multiple facilities that she's called that are available, either Advent, which would be insurance, or paid.
I understand. Yes, counsel.
Your Honor, I have spoken to Mr. Weinstein and discussed Ms. Saba's mental health issues and struggles. She will be residing with her aunt, and that is Maria Goretti, and I can provide that address to the court. She is insured, and she currently does telehealth to get her mental health treatment. I do have a list of resources available for Mr. Weinstein.
As long as I know where she's going.
Yes, we had agreed that if she can be court ordered to have a assessment within 24 hours, Mr. Weinstein is fine with her being released. He would prefer to have her be released. He doesn't feel that the treatment here.
I'm not gonna do 24 hours. I feel like we're gonna set her up for failure because we're on a Friday. By the time she gets discharged or processed out, it's gonna be probably near the close of business or at least early afternoon. So you let me know if you have any questions.
The facilities that we reached out to are 24 hours, so they will be able to facilitate. I don't want to set up for failure. If you want to give it 48 hours, she'll be with her aunt. Perfect.
Any objection to pretrial release?
No, Your Honor, not due to the victim's testimony.
You want pretrial release or straight monetary?
PTR, please.
I'm going to place her on pretrial release. I'm ordering no contact while this case is pending. This can be changed later on. She's to be evaluated no later than Tuesday. What's that date?
That would be the 2nd, I believe. Or 3rd.
It's the 5th.
Tuesday?
Oh, wait, that's April.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Tuesday is the 3rd.
Tuesday, May 3rd. Defendant is to maintain a separate residence. She's going to be residing with her aunt, Maria, and you're to give the court something in writing with her
Yes, Your
address and
Honor, it's
contact.
Ms. Goretti. And if we can make it no direct contact, there are 2 children involved, one of them being 6 months and only breastfed.
Oh, okay.
And they have already arranged for a.
I'll allow third-party contact for purposes of the children only. Is that agreeable?
Yes.
Is that agreeable to you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and she's not to have any weapons. If she owns any weapons, they need to be surrendered within 4 hours of her release or notify police where to collect those weapons since she's not to return home. And do not consume any illegal drugs or alcohol.
Your Honor, DCF was also contacted.
Comply with Department of Children and Families. So I heard your testimony. I've tried to be very thorough with meeting your request and what is legally allowed. Anything else, sir?
No, I very much appreciate your time.
All right, anything else, state or defense?
No, Your Honor.
All right, good luck to you, sir.
Thank you very much.
Should be processed out today.
Okay.
All right, let's go ahead and go to Sanchez. Can you approach with the plea form?
Yes, Your Honor. And Your Honor, I do believe the probation officer is on the, is online.
They're not.
I'm sorry?
They're not online.
Oh, she
Let me
said
see
she's
if I
been
can pull them
listening.
online on my,
Welcome to an Econo meeting. You are entering the meeting now. You are the only participant.
I don't have probation on.
She said that she just got disconnected. She's logging back on.
Yeah, this has been up for a little while, so I didn't see her in the room before. If she wants to message you and give you her input or. All right, while the state figures that out, let's bring in the next person. If I could just have you stand down, we'll work Mr. Sanchez in as soon as they have an opportunity to get in touch with probation. Yeah, I have my personal room on my computer plus the BRC, and she's not on either. I don't.
I know she said she was listening earlier.
Okay.
And then she said she just got disconnected and she's trying to log back in.
All right. What's your name, please? What's your name?
Darian Truss.
Mr. Truss, you're here for a charge of battery domestic violence. Do you need a public defender to help you with your case? A lawyer? Do you need a lawyer to help you?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Jana Graham. All right, here's what I'm doing, Mr. Truss. I'm going to, how long have you lived in Orlando?
All of my life.
Okay. And do you have a job?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes.
So I'm going to release you on pretrial release services. Any objection to that state? He's pro se.
No, Your Honor.
Okay. You're to have no contact with the victim, Jana Graham. You need to move out. I'll allow a one-time return to collect some personal belongings, not a full move out, but you must be accompanied by a police officer. You're to have no contact with Jana, and you're not to have any weapons. Weapons need to be surrendered within 4 hours of your release. Thank you, Mr. Truss.
He has no history. I don't know why.
I put him on PTR. He didn't ask for a public defender. He said no.
I don't think he. Yeah, I know. He's never been in trouble before, Your Honor. He doesn't plan on hiring a private. Could we be provisionally appointed just for today's purpose? I mean, just for.
I gave him a pretrial release.
You sure you're okay?
That's
Oh.
fine. Yeah.
All right, thank you.
Make sure you stay on the court dates, okay? I don't want you to get in trouble.
Your Honor, probation says she's back on.
Okay, probation, can you hear me? I don't know what the technical issue is. If she could hear us,
She said she can't.
but I can't hear her, that's problematic. Can you turn the volume? Can you just ask her what her input is?
I have the document that she provided, going over basically her case, the case and the dates on probation and the new laws, the technicals.
Okay, I have that too, the recommendations. All right, let's bring Mr. Sanchez back in, and in the meantime, counsel, can you approach with the plea form, or the admission form, rather?
I approached it already, Judge.
Oh, yeah, sorry. All right, sir, please raise your right hand. I'll have you sworn in.
Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you're about to give should be the truth, the whole truth, so help you God? Thank you.
Your name, please.
Frank Sanchez, Your Honor.
Mr. Sanchez, you're here for a violation of probation. The underlying offense was driving under the influence. Have you had enough time to speak with your attorney?
Yes, Your Honor.
And it's my understanding I'm going to do a time-served sentence. Are you sure it was a revoke and terminate that I said?
Yes, Judge.
As an officer of the court, I'll accept it. I do want you to keep in mind that your lawyer has done a good job advocating for you Probation was seeking 120 days. Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
Your Honor, do you mind if I put a few things on record before
Yes,
you
go ahead.
sentence? Mr. Sanchez Valdez was placed on probation for 245 days. He's gotten 40 days of credit. Probation is asking for a new term of probation of 90 days. The defendant's also in a violation of his felony probation. Probation believes that he potentially had 2 previous DUIs under another alias in Pennsylvania in 2002 and in New York in 2013, making this at least 4 DUIs. The recommendation was 90 additional days and the $50 cost of supervision. And that's what the state and probation's asking for at this time, Your Honor.
I may have been mistaken, but this is the first time I've heard of anything outside of the Florida DUI in 2019. I can't sentence him and punish him, so to speak, based on a speculation and what they believe opposed to what they know. Have they ever had a JNS comparison with fingerprints, state?
I think the NCIC was pulled. However, they didn't have a dispo for the case of the 2002 Pennsylvania one. I just received this. It's not my case, Your Honor, so I just received it.
I can't sentence him based on something speculative. It's now been around for a while, where state had time to perfect that and treat it as an enhanceable offense. Alternatively, probation had time to look into it. All right, let me go ahead and pull up my documents. Sir, do you know the differences between an admission and a denial?
Yes, I do, Your Honor.
And are you under the influence of any drugs, alcohol, or medication that's affecting your ability to understand what's going on right now?
No, Your Honor.
Do you understand that if you're not a United States citizen, you will be subject to deportation by entering a plea today?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you understand that, did you read this paper and understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
And what's the highest grade that you finished in school?
12th grade.
If you have a criminal history of doing anything sexually violent or anything sexually motivated under the laws of this state, do you understand that you could be civilly committed?
Yes, Your Honor.
Sir, do you admit or deny committing the offense of possession of a controlled substance, specifically cocaine, on January 22nd? Admit or deny?
May I have a moment, Judge? He's a little confused that the case was no billed by the state, but I'll explain to him what exactly.
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you admit or deny? So you're admitting to it. All right. Violation of Condition 4, do you admit or deny committing an offense of driving with license suspended on or about January 22nd? Admit or deny? Do you admit or deny that you failed to pay your cost of supervision in the months of February? Do you admit or deny? And do you admit or deny that you failed to complete your substance abuse program as court ordered? I'll find that you admitted to the new law violations as well as all technical violations. I think we need to recalculate his time.
I have 45 days to include the Osceola time, because this the Osceola arrest affidavit is in there.
I understand that you were released on this case earlier, but you're sitting in jail on other charges. At this time, I'll go ahead and adjudicate you guilty, which has been previously done, sentence you to 45 days in the county jail with 45 days credit for time served, revoking and terminating your terms of probation. Your outstanding court cost and supervision is all going to be done with the clerk of court's office. You have 30 days to set up a modified payment plan once you're released from jail or prison. And your license will remain suspended until you complete all outstanding conditions. Once you do get a license, you are going to have to comply with the ignition interlock device. Do you have any questions?
No, thank you, Your Honor.
You'll be released on these charges today. Thank you.
Thank you.
Is there a time?
The one, previous
It was
order,
previously
yeah.
ordered.
Mhm.
Okay, so all previous conditions.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, counsel. And State, thank you for mentioning that. That's the first time I've heard about the Pennsylvania. I know you're just kind of stepping in, so.
First time I've heard about it as well, Your Honor.
Thank you, counsel. Your name, please.
Hello, Your Honor. My name is Zenaida Tuck.
Ms. Tuck, you're here for a charge of battery. Are you Maria Tuck?
Yes, I am.
You are the only participant.
Never got her. Zenaida, do you need a public defender that's a lawyer to help you with your case?
If I could defend myself, I think that would be fine.
If you change your mind and you not need a lawyer, you let me know.
Perfect, thank you.
How are you related to Zenaida?
She's my daughter.
And does she have any mental health issues?
We believe so. She needs to be evaluated. She's been to UBC numerous times and they
Has she
haven't
ever been
fully
found
done.
competent or incompetent, rather?
I'm sorry?
Has she ever been found or believed to be incompetent?
They diagnosed her differently each time she went. And the last time she went to South Seminole, I believe it was, they said she was borderline personality disorder and that she needed therapy. She's refusing to do therapy or anything.
Now, does she live with you usually?
Yes, she does.
Do you want her to return home?
Yes.
Are you in fear of her?
Say that one more time?
Are you in fear of her?
Not at all.
And do you have concerns about the safety of any of your other household members?
Not at all.
Were drugs or alcohol a factor in this?
We do not believe so. We've been dealing with this for the last couple of years, trying to get her help.
Ms. Tuck?
Yes, ma'am.
Zenaida, can I call you Zenaida?
Yes.
So you were arrested for battery, domestic violence. Based on what your mom said, do you want to return home and be released from jail?
Yes, please.
Okay. But based on what your mom says, I have a concern about your ability to understand what's going on. So I'm going to appoint a public defender to assist you throughout this case.
Okay.
If at any point you're unhappy with the public defender, you can tell the judge that you want the public defender removed from the case. That would also happen if you or somebody in your family hired your own attorney. I'm going to release you on pretrial release. You're to have no hostile contact with your mom. You can't do anything to harm, threaten, scare, or intimidate her. Do you follow?
Your Honor, would you repeat that, please? As far as you said, no hospital?
Oh, no hostile contact.
Perfect, thank you.
I want you to get evaluated within the next 2 weeks
Okay,
for mental health treatment.
perfect.
If you can't get that done in that time, just follow up and we can sign off in an order extending that.
Perfect, thank you so much.
You're not to take any drugs or alcohol unless it's a prescribed medication. And I mean currently prescribed, not something old.
Okay, yes, ma'am.
And you're not allowed to have any weapons. If you do have any weapons, they need to be surrendered to law enforcement within 2 hours of your release.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yes.
Anything else?
That's all.
All right, good luck to you, ma'am.
Thank you so much.
Get the evaluation in 2 weeks, just
Follow up, yeah.
follow up with the date.
Or seek an extension. Anastasia Cross? You're here for a warrant out of Volusia County for the underlying offense of battery, domestic violence, and there's an allegation that you violated your probation. You're being held at no bond. I'll appoint a public defender to assist you while you're in the Orange County Court Jail. After that, I'm going to address Robert Lewis. What? Oh, yeah, come on up. How do you like private practice? Wait till they do that on a holiday. All right, are you Mr. Lewis?
Yes, ma'am.
2018-13 CFA. You're here for a warrant. You're being held on no bond. This is a warrant out of Seminole County, Florida, for a violation of probation for grand theft charges. I'll appoint a public defender for the purposes of being incarcerated in the Orange County Jail. After that is Tiffany Waters. Ms. Waters, I'll appoint a public defender to help you while you're in the Orange County Jail in case 2018 CF 5813. You have a warrant out of Brevard County, Florida. You're being held at no bond for trafficking in stolen property and false information to a pawnbroker. Good luck to you, ma'am. After that, I have Bo McKinley. Bo McKinley. Bo McKinley. B-E-A-U, McKinley. All right, thank you. Crystal Middleton. Thank you. Tyler Casillas. I'll appoint a public defender to help you while you're incarcerated in the Orange County Jail. You're here for a warrant for battery. You were placed on probation. It alleges that you committed a new offense of being trespass. You didn't complete your anger management, and you didn't undergo your substance evaluation, so your bond is $100. Again, a public defender is appointed.
It's
Around
1,000.
1,000.
1,000? Did I say what?
100.
I'm sorry, $1,000. That's how. Todd Hubbard is next. Are you Mr. Hubbard?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Hubbard, do you need a public defender to help you with your case?
Yes, ma'am.
I'll appoint the service of a public defender. You're here for charges of burglary of a dwelling and grand theft. You were on probation or community control. It's alleged you violated your term, so you're now being held at no bond. After that, it's Jana Stanton. I'll appoint the services of the public defender. The warrant has been signed and she'll be remaining at no bond. After that is Freddie Thomas, 2020.
I'm sorry, Cassandra Slade.
Okay. Can we switch gears?
I don't have it either.
All right, Sheree Sherriger.
I don't have that.
I can't hear who you're calling.
We don't have those two cases. I'm sorry.
Oh, I don't have that. You have it?
2296.
I don't have that paperwork.
I don't have it either.
He's second session.
Well, I don't have the paperwork. We'll need to see her. We're gonna do a move up, so it'll, what's your name? What's your name?
Lee Thomas.
Mr. Thomas, good morning. You're here for a violation of probation in case number 2021 CF 14217. Do you need a public defender to help you with your case?
Yes.
I'll go ahead and appoint one. You're being held at no bond for that violation of probation. Thank you, Mr. Thomas. And Trong is next. Okay. We'll pass on Trong. Are you ready on Sherrigar? Is this your client?
Morning, Judge. My name is Adam Pollock. I'll be making an oral notice of appearance and following it up with a written notice of appearance. I was just contacted about an hour ago.
Thank you. On record on 2022 CF 4820. Sir, you were arrested for, your name, please.
Shrey Sharigar.
You were arrested for a charge of aggravated assault with a firearm. I do find that there's probable cause. Is the name Aligar Guzman present? No response. State, do you want to be heard on release conditions?
Your Honor, it doesn't appear that he qualifies for PTR, so state's just asking for a bond. Taking into account there was a child present and DCF was called.
And defense counsel, do you want to be heard on terms of release?
Yes, Judge, I'd ask the court to consider releasing him on his own recognizance with the condition not to possess any firearms while on.
You're asking for ROR on it?
Yes, ma'am. The reason being is he's a long-term resident of this area. He has no prior record to my knowledge. He is fully employed. He is a responsible citizen of Florida. My understanding of the alleged facts in this case is that the alleged victim is not wishing to see this case prosecuted. There's really a low chance of him violating any conditions and fleeing the jurisdiction. I believe he owns his own local business as well here.
State, what kind of monetary bond do you want? Since I can't put him on ROR with these offenses.
Yes, Your
Or
Honor, state was
allegations.
gonna object to ROR, given that there was a victim, and there was firearm and a child. Since it's an F3, state's asking for 1,500. However, given that he has no history, state understands if court, reduces that some.
Here are the conditions of your release. I'm setting bond at $1,500. I'm ordering no contact with the victim. You cannot contact the victim even for purposes of your children. You must maintain a separate residence. I'll allow one-time return. You need to be accompanied by a police officer at that time.
That's fine. I don't want, that's fine.
Let me finish, and then you can ask your attorney if you have any questions, and then we'll circle back around. So no contact, maintain separate residence. One-time return, as long as you're accompanied by a police officer. That's just enough time to collect a bag, like, for your personal effects and toiletries, and changes of clothes. You're not to own any weapons. That includes firearms and ammunition. If you do own any, they need to be surrendered within 4 hours of your release from jail. You're going to sign a paper that goes over the terms of no contact. Again, no third-party contact, no texting, emailing, private messaging, or any other means. Anything else, state?
Your Honor, just to comply with DCF as they were called.
So the Department of Children and Families is likely going to be involved in this case and take additional information. You're to comply with their investigation. Of course, call your attorney if you have any other questions. Mr. Pollack, I'll give you a moment to confer with your client. Let me know if I need to clarify anything.
Judge, we do not need any clarification.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
That concludes your case. Thank you, counsel.
Thank you, Judge.
After, while I wait for Vietnamese, can I see session 2? Okay, we're going to be on standby until we have a Vietnamese interpreter online. I can review it this way. No. Thank you. I appreciate you asking. Okay, and I believe the victim needs a Vietnamese interpreter too, is that correct? Do I have an interpreter online?
I'm here.
Sorry, I couldn't hear you. What is your name?
Yes, ma'am. My name is Hung, ID number 202183.
Please interpret. Are you Miss Trong?
Yes.
Cô có phải là Trương không vậy cô?
Dạ phải.
Yes.
Miss Trong.
Your Honor, there is a witness approaching.
Call your witness. Sir, please tell me what your name is. Wait, hold on.
Dạ thưa chú cho tôi biết tên của chú là gì?
Anh Nguyễn.
This is Anh Nguyễn.
And how are you related to Miss Trong?
Và chú là quan hệ gì với lại cô Trương?
Bạn gái.
She's my girlfriend.
Do you live together?
Cô và chú có sống chung với nhau không?
Dạ đang sống chung.
Yes, we live together.
Do you want to continue to live together?
Hai người có muốn tiếp tục sống chung với nhau không?
Dạ. Muốn.
Yes, I do.
Are you in fear of her?
Chú có sợ hãi gì bà cô ta không?
Không.
No.
I'm going to talk to Miss Trong now.
Bây giờ tôi sẽ nói chuyện với lại cô Trương.
Miss Trong, do you speak or understand any English?
No.
Cô Trương, cô có nói được tiếng Anh hoặc là hiểu được tiếng Anh không vậy cô?
Dạ, chỉ hiểu được chút chút.
I can understand a little bit.
Because of your lack of understanding, I'm going to have a lawyer from the Public Defender's Office help you.
Bởi vì sự gọi là thiếu sót về không hiểu tiếng Anh, do đó tôi sẽ đề cử một người luật sư đại diện cho cô do bên khu vực được bảo vệ đặt ra cho cô nhé.
She's circling her phone number. Call her office no later than Wednesday of next week.
Cô nhớ là sẽ liên lạc với văn phòng luật sư không có quá trễ ngày thứ Tư của tuần tới.
Dạ.
Yes.
I'm ordering that you have no hostile contact with Mr. Nguyen.
Tôi đưa ra một cái sắc lệnh là cô không có được có một cái hoặc là một cái hành động gọi là hung dữ với chú Nguyễn.
He's saying it's okay for you to return home.
Và ông ta có cho biết là hiện nay cô có thể trở về.
You're not allowed to have any weapons, like firearms and ammunition.
Cô không có được quyền cất giữ hoặc là mua những cái vũ khí, súng ống.
If you do have them, you need to call the police and ask them to pick them up.
Nếu như hiện nay cô có vũ khí cất giữ ở nhà hoặc là cất giữ ở đâu, cô nên gọi đến đồn cảnh sát, nhờ cảnh sát đến mang đi.
Sir, where is the 13-year-old daughter now?
Dạ thưa chú, hiện nay đứa bé 13 tuổi đang ở đâu?
Ngày hôm qua thì có gọi cho người con gái đầu á của bạn gái á, là Đài Trương á, là cho nên bây giờ người con gái thứ hai là ở Orlando tới pick up từ from school tomorrow, ngày hôm qua.
Okay, so Miss Jung, eldest daughter, I think eldest or the second daughter, who lives in Orlando, arranged to pick up the 13 years old yesterday at school.
Okay, thank you. All right.
Cảm ơn ạ.
State Defense Counsel, can you approach? Madam Interpreter, I'm going to put you on a brief hold.
Thank you.
So she does qualify for pretrial release. I can also give her a low monetary bond. What I'm seeing, it's kind of a blanket observation I'm making. When we have interpreter cases, most often, because there's nothing in writing that explains in Vietnamese what the pretrial release conditions are. And even though we have Spanish, they're not understanding it. So what do you want me to do on this? Is $100 okay? All right, ma'am, you have to post a bond amount of $100.
Dạ thưa cô, cái số tiền bảo lãnh của cô sẽ được gọi là đăng là 100 đồng.
I've never seen it before. Do you want and that'll conclude your case, but call your attorney.
Hôm nay tôi sẽ hoàn tất ngưng lại cái buổi hầu trác ngày hôm nay. Cô nhớ liên lạc với luật sư của cô.
Mr. Nguyen, do you have any questions? She'll be released.
Chú Nguyễn, chú có thắc mắc gì muốn hỏi tôi không?
She'll be released after someone posts the $100 bond.
Cô ta sẽ được trả tự do sau khi có người đăng cái cổ phiếu, trả cái tiền trả tự do cho cô ấy.
Dạ, cảm ơn.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you. That'll conclude everything.
Cảm ơn ạ. Tất cả đã được hoàn tất ạ.
Dạ,
Thank you,
cảm ơn
Your Honor.
chị.
Would there be anything else?
All right, thanks.